Hello and welcome to the Be Formless Flow Driven CEO podcast. I am welcoming all the way from Zurich to the show, Sasi Reddy. Welcome to the show, Sasi.
Oh, thank you very much. Be happy to be here.
No, thank you. And I should say Zurich, Switzerland, because people will probably just go, where's Zurich? Well, most people would know where Zurich is, but it's always good to say which country it's in, right?
Got it. And don't be fooled by the background with San
I,
Francisco. I'm
I
half
always
in there.
I always am, but hey, your company does operate between Zurich and San Francisco, so it's somewhat you should have half
Yeah.
San Francisco and half Zurich on one side of the in the backdrop
Mm.
if you can get AI to do that. But Sassy, you have a lot to share with us, and I'm not condoning this, but you've had 4 coffees today, and it is 10 p.m., so you're wide awake, and so I think you're ready for a good old conversation. And it's early morning here, so you'll probably talk more than I will. But
I don't
well,
want to hijack the show, but yeah, I'll definitely
I
share
get the
some
feeling you're
insights.
going to though. Like, yeah, like I said, I don't want to condone 4 coffees. I used to drink that much coffee, I said to you, but my doctor many moons ago said to me, it is not good for me, from a nervous system level and, running at 100 miles an hour. So anyway, maybe that's something that can get you to pull back on, but I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But anyway, so let's get into it. So you're the
Yeah.
founder and CEO of Fintos, which is an agentic AI wealth intelligence platform that helps family offices, RIAs, UHNW investors and advisors make faster, smarter portfolio decisions with predictive insights and automation. It's a lot of little words in there, or abbreviations. I'll let you explain what they are. But here's the drum roll. You've really founded the company in 2025. So it is only it's just been birthed essentially. And it was founded in
Yeah.
Zurich, but later incorporated as Fintos Inc. in Delaware. And the company operates, like I said, between Zurich and San Fran. Your background spans B2B SaaS and AI product leadership, including senior product roles at Stellar Labs. And you said to me you wanted to talk a lot about what you've learned since, having a startup only last year. No doubt the highs, the lows, and all the in-betweens. You also said when you booked in for the podcast, when I asked you what's one unique insider lived experience that you'd like to share when it comes to life leadership and or business, and you said my biggest insight is that AI doesn't elevate companies, it elevates people. When leaders learn to combine intuition with intelligent systems, they unlock a version of themselves that is calmer, more creative, and more strategic. So true. The future of leadership isn't about working harder. It's about learning to collaborate with intelligence, both human and AI. And I have to say, I'm having quite a few conversations at the moment on the collaboration. It's like the new evolution of collaboration. It's no longer just with people,
Yeah.
it's with AI and humans. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Tell us tell us about your journey, and yeah, looking forward to hearing all your learnings and insights as well.
Thank you very much, B. Thank you for the intro. Yeah, I started Fintos early last year in March. Started as a personal financing app, then switched into pivoted to wealth management for family offices and private investors and RIAs. We have an agentic solution providing automation of their portfolio tracking, cash flow, and liquid and illiquid assets planning, providing AI generated insights, hands-on for them 24/7 available insights, looking to market what's driving their portfolio, what are the actions recommended to take charge to mitigate the risk of exposure. And we also have governance module where we continuously monitor where the governance and risk exposure much more lies for the family offices for their portfolio. And it is a we come upon a great product, and I attended few events in San Francisco and in Switzerland as well. We built the right product for the right problem and the right users. We had strong traction from all fronts of the clients and the investors as well. We're actively in the pilot phase. We're going to events, presenting, getting booths and stages as well. And learning, I would say, is more in building in the AI era. Everyone is vibe coding and everyone is building tools with no code solutions. But we do have a hands-on approach of building everything in-house with an engineer and a couple of engineers actually building from the ground up, making it a secure financial platform because we're handling millions and billions of users' financial data, and we have a lot of transactional data that is
Yeah.
stored in the platform. backend. So we have to make it secure, and it cannot be just a vibe coded tool that's we're shipping off without verifying the code. The security is the biggest concern for the family offices regarding their data security and privacy, and connecting to various data sources. That's also a big challenge for us. Connecting the data sources from the US, Middle East, Europe, Switzerland as well. How do we consolidate different geographical data into one platform and to make use of AI that actually gives an actual use case, not just like, oh, it's a not uh, it's not like a nice to have, but a must have feature.
Yeah.
That's how we position. Everyone is boxing out AI and top of any analytics or SaaS platform, which is not basically doing anything, just having a chat or support feature. But our differentiation is more like giving actionable insights and ready to make some decisions and recommended actions based on the data in the platform and also from the market data.
Wow. And how did you it's quite incredible what you've built since last year, like last March.
Yep.
How big's your
And
team? Has it how many people have you been if is this just you? Are you a one-man band or have you got a team of people that are working with you?
yeah, we're a two people person. One is an AI engineer based in Berlin, and I'm based in Zurich, and we're building in-house everything. We built up from the ground up using some, of course, AI tools, but also more like inclining onto building a full stack application. We're working days and nights. I'm full time on the startup. The AI engineer is part time. He has a full time job, so bit challenging to communicate in day to day hours. But later on, once we get from the building stage to actually getting the MVP out there, presenting at events and booths, it came quite clear that this is the space that we want to work on and we want to move fast. So now we are scaling up the team. We're recruiting a couple of people to join on the team from San Francisco and also in Zurich. So this will be the next piece of puzzle that's gonna solve. We're gonna solve
Yeah.
the assembling the tech, the product.
Wow. And so what made you move from your previous roles, you were you had senior product roles. What made you go from being like almost like an employee into then wanting to have your own startup and be your own CEO, be your own founder?
Yeah, I always had the entrepreneurship ambition. I tried few things before, got to some point with some of my friends and from university or from my internship days. Now it came at a point where I want to take the leap of leaving my full-time job, being full-time on a startup. Uh, every one of my friends like, oh, it's risky. You should make a financial planning, financial decision, lots of because of course it's expensive to live in Switzerland as well. So everyone is like, oh, you have to make a detailed plan and a concrete plan. I did make, as I'm working in finance, I'm good with the numbers and projections and all the planning, financial planning and financial controlling. So the most of the risk part came from the financial aspect. Then on the career change, the job market is not very easy at the moment, even anywhere in the Europe or US. So and assessing the risk part, like, okay, if the startup doesn't succeed, would I go back to the corporate world? What would be the approach? When would I go back? And my friends say like, yeah, you have a good CV and background, you can always go back to the corporate world. But
Would you
for
ever
me
go
it's
back?
never, I don't think I would, after coming this far, doing this much, traveling this much, and speaking to this many people. I don't think I would go back. I am fully in on it for the next 5 years. I'm fully committed to this startup. We're in a successful track, getting into the metrics of going the pre-seed, seed stage, and going for the next round of onboarding customers and making the investor calls and getting the funding coming in.
That's exciting. And tell me, was it a big change for you again back from employee to start up in terms of you said it sounds like you're working pretty much 24/7. Like, are you having any days off or are you like literally 7 days a week working on the business and in the business right now?
Yeah, I'm 24/7 on the project. Initial days as well, when I had the full-time job and working on startup, it became two full-time jobs at one point. So it became evidently clear that I have to do my full-time job. And even after that, as the progress goes on in the startup, going from the building stage to actually presenting stage where you want to onboard the clients, it became more. Even today, I've spent 6 hours in meetings, either from the US or from Europe. So different pieces connecting to make a successful startup regarding the people, regarding the partners, regarding the technical integrations, regarding the HR onboarding platforms, evaluating bunch of things and events that we're trying to go to in next week and the next month as well. Uh, Designing the booth graphics for events, everything I'm doing myself, and different people emailing for different requirements. And oh, here's the budget for the lead generation topics, and here's the budget for the uh, product development from East European team. So I have to evaluate and go through, sit in these meetings, and which is the best solution. And the decision making part is also quite critical. Of course, there's options thrown at you, thrown at me left and right every day, and new people coming and pitching in things. Uh, as I mentioned, with the early stages of financial controlling, I have to make a better judgment call, not just based on uh, intuition, but also with the financial aspect also in the mind. What would be the best solution for a pre-seed, early stage startup
Yeah,
to,
it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I think sometimes your intuition. I mean, I'm very much guided about your intuition, my intuition. I'd love to talk to you about this, and but I think like as when you're in startup mode, you are doing everything. Can you have your moments where you're like, oh, I'm doing everything. I just want to be able to offload it. But then you got the conundrum of, well, hang on a second, cash flow and your financials. And you got, like you say, you got people coming at you going, you could be doing this way more efficiently. You could be doing this. And you think to yourself, I know I could be. I wish I could. But there's this bit of a catch 22 sometimes because you're like, I'd love to offload it, but that comes at a cost. I need
yeah,
cash flow for other areas or other priorities within the business. It's a really tricky one, don't you think? Like because you know you're in it and you know you can't be in it like this forever, but you kind of almost have to be in it, understand it to then be able to make the actual real decision on okay, who is going to be the best person to help me or the best partner to help me take it to the next level. Like, do you find that?
yeah, right on point. So I also had these moments of time where I felt like, oh, like I saw today's kind. I'm like, oh my God, 8 meetings today. Why can't this be done or offshore to some other partner or some other co-founder? This is something is the next step. As I mentioned, I'm looking for a technical co-founder as well. I'm in talks with few people where the technical part of the things can be done through this person, where I can focus on the business aspect of
Yeah,
things and customer acquisition, investments coming in, where my strong suit is like my North Star is this part, business side of things. And the technical part of the parts can be delegated or delegate to some other person who is also as capable and as passionate as the product and the industry where it's going. And that's would be like it's not, I wouldn't say it's a nice way, it's a must have for any startup. Few founders are fortunate enough to start together, and few for founders have to struggle through 6 months after starting, still looking for a technical co-founder or a business co-founder, where you have to align on an existing vision and strategy and a roadmap to get someone on board to match your vision or close to your
yeah,
vision and strategy.
yeah,
That even in the founding team, founding engineers, co-founders, that is a quite critical step. That would be the next step for me.
yeah. And have you had any moments since March of last year where you're like, oh, this, I can't do this? Like, have you had any like moments of like where it's like too hard, it's like almost like doubting yourself or doubting where this is headed? Or have you got that mindset or that intuition, has that, the gut instinct is saying, just keep going?
I wished there was someone by my side or like with the support. It's like I said to my friend also, she also has plans to do a startup. I just like don't do it alone. It's better if you start alone. And there are some points actually where I thought like I wish there is someone, but I never thought like, oh, I should stop this. Uh, I only wish for like there is someone helping me in some parts of this. Uh, as I mentioned to this friend also, it's one thing to build this with support, positivity, clarity where you're going, and it's a whole other thing to build this alone, no positivity and uncertainty in this space. If it's going to be a success or not, will we get customers, will we get investments or not? So there's this way you have to see what would be the right person that would be joining later on.
Yeah, I agree. It's, it's funny. They say it's lonely at the top, and in my previous world, I will agree it can be lonely at times at the top when you've got that many different decisions. You've got, I had 150 staff, and you've got a team around you, and you've got a leadership team, and so you can bounce things off different people. But I think and I've got my own business, and who's to say that I don't have a partner down the track? But at the moment, it's on my own, and there are moments where you just like. Oh, I just wish there was somebody sitting here next to me going, don't worry, we're going to, on the days when you are doubting things or questioning something, or you're just tired or, whatever. I wish there was that. No, I don't wish. I think that is when you need, or you have to have that right mentor, that supporter, that coach or whatever to be able to pull you out of it because you can pull your own self out, but sometimes you just need that extra, and you look at yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, exactly. You need that, how to say, like a morale booster. Either
Yeah.
it could come from a fellow founder or your partner or someone of your peer friends or your ex-colleagues that are keeping in tabs with you. It's definitely a lonely place up here, trying to do all things alone and building a startup at a critical stages and trying to get ahead of the competition or ahead of other people that are building in the same space. And what worked for me in terms of coping with building in this space is, of course, like I said, a fellow founder friends that I have in Zurich, and having some friends going to meet on social events. Initially, I made the mistake of isolating myself and like this core
Yeah.
coding engineer sitting in a basement developing left and right. I was building all night and sleeping at 7 a.m. and sending screenshots to my partners and saying like, hey, this worked. I fixed the AI part. Now it's working like this. I connected this. And later on, I did realize like, okay, it's not worth it. It's quite important to have a schedule and work towards that schedule, having a sleep rhythm, having a workout, going to the gym, sauna, that helped for me.
So true.
And having a support is always welcome.
Yeah, it's so true. And I love that you called out the schedule, having that schedule and having the sleep rhythm. So I was going to ask you, do
Yeah,
you sleep? But it sounds like you do, like yeah, and it's not it's not sustainable. You otherwise you'll crash and burn. And it's so important
yeah,
that you have to be fresh.
yeah,
There's nothing worse if you're pitching to somebody or, a potential customer, and you're looking exhausted. And here
yeah,
you are representing, a wealth intelligence platform, and you're looking really disheveled. It's not a good look, right? And it's not a good look full stop in terms of just like it's the ability to keep our ourselves, our cups full so that we are have that ability to be able to perform and feel at our best. Tell us a little bit
yeah.
about what would you say actually what are your top two things you've learnt since going into startup world, and then we'll shift into the AI collaboration piece.
Yeah, one thing is network is everything. Of course, a lot of founders, they just sit back at home and like, trying to do cold email, cold approach, cold LinkedIn messages and reaching out to people. But I'd say actually being in person at events or meetups after work hours, joining some peer founder network events and traveling to meet your clients and investors, that has changed for me. For a couple of months, I isolated myself, and then later on from September, I went out. I met people at events. I connected on LinkedIn. I exchanged, set up on a follow-up call. Uh, I would suggest anyone to go out and meet people, even after hours, 2, 3 hours per day. At the end of the day, if you can find some local networking events in terms of the business, IT, or investments, or whichever industry that you're working on, Go and meet your industry peers, talk to them how they're doing, what your approach is. This the right approach to the success, or is it the right approach for a healthy, sustainable in the long run? And yeah, just talk to people and discuss what's working on, what's not working, and whenever you have some questions or needs a room from needs a room for improvement, just ask where you were lacking, and people who are expert in this, they're open to help
Yeah,
actually.
they really are. They're such they're such good points that networking and asking for help. I think that we want to try and prove ourselves and not ask for help when actually if we ask for help, it can go a long way. Tell us a little bit about your response to the question when you booked in for the pod. This combination of intuition, intelligent systems, the future of leadership. You called it out, isn't about working harder, it's about how you collaborate more with intelligence so that we've got this both human and AI collaboration. And it does feel
Yeah.
like it's collaboration is really shifting. And I don't even think the word collaboration is doing it justice anymore. It's like we need to add something onto and collaborate or something collaboration, right? Like, yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I would say your personal or like working AI buddy or AI assistant, AI agent per se, is your working AI agent doing half of your repetitive tasks, scheduling or booking things or replying to emails, drafting emails, generating some reports, automating some of the mundane tasks that you could possibly take time but can now be automated. If you're able to do 40 hours of work in 8 hours by using AI, and the leaders are looking into opportunities like this, leadership teams in all of the organizations are looking into opportunities where we can automate some of the process, reduce the time the employees are using. That's how all the big tech are leading into the next generation, the last 2 years, where we're seeing. And they want people to leverage AI. They want people to use AI agents to automate some of the flows. And people have been pushed out of the organization when they're not like, oh, they're not onboarding, they're not really using AI. There's now tracking metrics and coming out of McKinsey and some reports as well. Like, okay, if the future is going to be like multi-agent system where one person would be working with five different agents in collaboration with five other agents that are working for other person in the team. So you would come just like how you and I would communicate, our agents would communicate to each other to clear out some of the communication lag, I would say, and also performing some tasks on behalf of me, on behalf of you. Uh, there's going to be AI agents working alongside you on all things. It will be sitting on your computer, it will be sitting on your cloud solutions, performing your day-to-day tasks. And already we've seen in firsthand, like the customer support is almost oblivious right now. Previously, we used to have hundreds of people sitting in a booth, picking up calls and answering. Now it's either chatbots or either AI picking up calls, answering the questions and redirecting some things. What 100 people would do now can be done by five people managing a bunch of AI agents.
Yeah.
And the same goes for HR, marketing, finance teams, sales teams. Everyone is going to manage AI agents. One person, instead of managing four people SDR team, they would be managing five AI agents to do the job.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Like it is fascinating. Like it does
Yeah.
open up the space though for like as much as certain roles are going to be, like extinct if you like, there because of AI, there's a bigger opportunity for then what do the new roles look like? What sort of roles are we creating for humans? And then
Yeah.
there's this like, the fact that you'll be managing AI agents in a multi-agent system and just having these conversations with the machine and or the robots, whatever you want to call them. I think that's where a lot of people are like freak out or they get scared about it. But actually, at the end of the day, it's just a different way of doing work. Do you know what I mean? Like yeah, it's a fascinating. Do you have this conversation with people?
Yeah, I do have a conversation with some people regarding this because, okay, you're pro AI, you're all in on AI. What about the risk? What about the casualty of it? What about the people that are going to out of job, or what are their security risks? What is the information security leakage or any part of this? And when people who are bit skeptic about AI, we have to give like a proper educational way of like how they can leverage AI for better use. Any new tech can be used for both pro and con basis. So we have to show how they can leverage AI more in an educational sense. And people who come up to me and say like, "Oh, would this replace my job?" And I do say like, it would not replace your job. It would replace your work. So the work you
That's
do per week
interesting.
can be done in 1 day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting because we're so also defined by our identity is so like defined by our career or our job or our work. And a lot of the conversations I've been having have been around this whole exactly what you're talking about. It'll replace the work. And so then I think the bigger question becomes, what does it open up for us as people? Like, we're so used to like getting out, going to work, coming home. A lot of people still then get on computers or whatever. Like, and like coming back to what you said around the future of leadership isn't about working harder. The future of
Yeah.
leadership is about is working smarter, is being able to have more critical thinking, more creativity, and being far more strategic, like you say. But it also opens up this ability to be able to get back to what we're meant to be doing as well, and living life more, if you ask me. And I think that's the bit we need to be talking more about also. Like that, yes, do you know what I mean? Like I just think that we're not
Yeah.
we get to spend more time with our friends, our family, doing things that we were
Yeah.
always meant to be doing versus just like this. And like because you could keep doing that and you'll start up for the next 5 years and then you might look up and you've missed out on so many different things.
Exactly. In terms of the corporate world, it's always about increasing the profits. That's one thing, the
Yeah.
metric that matters, increasing the profits, showing growth, either by increasing the price of the product, either by reducing your burn rate, reducing the team. If you're paying $1 million for in salary just for your team, why can't you do it for 500K by replacing the jobs by AI, reducing the time? That's the corporate way. And in personal way, people have, of course, they will have life beyond AI. Some of the things which cannot be replaced, the human connection cannot be replaced by AI. I'm sure people would like to communicate through agents, and I saw that Bumble CEO is now saying like there will be agents for the woman, agent for the man. They will talk together first, and then if it's a match, then the people would
Oh my
join in.
God, really?
uh, yeah, that's some scary future ahead. It's kind of like a Black Mirror future.
Oh my God,
I'm
that's
sure we'll have it
bizarre.
in 3 years. Yeah, yeah. If it even if your dating life is set around by AI, and I'm like, okay, where's the free will for you? Where's your first human interest or intuition? It's of course it will be optional at the first, and as you mentioned, spending time doing other activities like gym or social activities, going to a bar, having a drink with your friends, or meeting someone for coffee or lunch, that will still be there. The people that are working in a cafe, they don't need AI, at least for now. Uh, so there's life beyond AI, and people would still cherish that points, and people should value that, and not just like embedding how we bring in smartphones to every one of our conversations on every one of your social life. Uh, I think that would be a key part where people, how can they differentiate, where they have to set boundaries themselves, like how a family says like no phones on the dinner table. It's just like, okay, no use of AI after work, or no use of AI in the house, or no use of AI content consumption. That's some parental controls that they can set forth in the coming years. And how we startup founders building in AI space who are like doubling down, okay, everything with
Yeah, well,
AI.
you're a native,
That
right?
might be a different way. Yeah, yeah, we're an AI native people. Like, we're building in this space. But I present my platform as an AI native platform. So for non-AI people, this is just some new technology, just like internet or cloud solution. This is another new technology. There's going to be something in the future with quantum technology and some others that's emerging, which we may not yet know. Uh, and some other things called neuromorphic computing is also going to be big in the future. That's where we're going to head.
What's it called?
Maybe it's AI. Neuromorphic computing. It's just mimicking human behavior.
Neuromorphic.
Uh, Yeah, neuromorphic computing, that's going to be big as well. And investments are coming into going into this startup side of things. Some researchers there, if one of the companies they recently raised $400 million for building a neuromorphic computing system.
Wow.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
of course, with some advanced technology, we're going to get to that level 5 automation and all things as well. I'm just one thing I'm looking forward to in automation in future is like automated cars. Definitely,
Oh
100%.
yeah.
I've seen I've seen the Tesla robo taxis and Waymos in San Francisco, and it's fascinating. I was driving into it like, is this even for real?
What?
So
There was
I'd
no
like
one.
to see
It was
that.
just driving itself.
Yeah, it was driving itself. They're using the LiDAR technology, Waymo, and Tesla is
Oh my
in
God,
computer vision, and
hilarious.
they just you just book through an app and it comes at your doorstep and you go wherever you want. There are certain restrictions within the map where it can go for now. Uh, in 5 years from now, I think it will be in the majority of the cities in the US and some European cities as well. Zurich also partnered with a Chinese automobile company for this to enable some automated cars on road. Hopefully, we get to see
We'll be able to
them
sit
try out
back and
soon
just
here.
cruise in the car, like not have to worry. A couple of last questions for you. Quickly tell me, you managing an AI agent or a multi-agent system, yes, what like when it comes to collaboration, human to machine, I'm going to ask, this is a bit of a cryptic question. Well, not cryptic, it's a bit of a tricky question, I'll say. I'm going to put human, multi-agent, agentic system or whatever, and intuition. How does that all work together in your mind? Is that a tricky question?
Good question. Yeah, it's a good question actually. So, in what aspect of your corporate life or work that you're working uh, to use this multi-agent system, and how your multi-agent system is collaborating with some offshore team or some other collaborator in your team, and us who worked in a corporate space and going transitioning, that would be new for us to and also challenging for us to communicate with other person. If you're bringing your agents to the meeting room, if you're letting your agent take the meeting notes, decide on the next steps and what you might have missed, that's one thing. But if you're letting agent perform the task what you should be doing, that's the next step. If you have to send up a follow-up email to the client, you'll take notes and you will read the notes and send. But if the AI is doing that job of sending the email, then that would be the part. And the intuition comes into play when people are using it for better use. When I'm saying better use, it's for the productivity, not per se the better off in terms of morality, because it can be used against some beneficial cases like HR teams monitoring uh, people's day-to-day work,
Yeah.
how many keyboard strokes they're having, is this employee on this, if some remote employee or work from home employee, are they doing their job or not? This kind of evaluation would hurt, and some people would not be so keen on using AI. Like I mentioned, I have friends who are like a bit skeptic about AI, doesn't want to put out the information, doesn't want to put PDFs or write generate emails from
Oh,
them. Because
really?
now, if you see LinkedIn, yeah, if you see LinkedIn now, it feels like 80%, if not more, is generated by AI,
Oh,
at
I
least
know. It's
used
a bit
to
terrible, don't
generate.
you think, though? Like, it's kind of like this is where I think, authenticity, authentic content,
Hmm.
being your true authentic self as a human is more important than ever because you go onto LinkedIn and you're just reading through and you know when it's AI written, like you just go, oh my gosh, like yeah.
Exactly. Once I read recently one article about one of the famous founder in the US. He did mention like intuition in terms of AI is one, like there's people used to do manual labor, but it eliminated some of the industrial automation, eliminated that part. So we have gyms now. It's your intuition to go to gym and work out and have a physical fitness routine. And the same way, if you're a copywriter, if you're a marketing person, if you're writing articles, thought leadership pieces, to use AI, if you just putting some notes and putting asking AI to write it, you can do it. But you would lose from a ground up. If you I give you a white paper to write up your thoughts, would you articulate that well? You have to practice that as well. The use of AI comes from you. uh, if you can't write up an email without AI, that's a sad thing to look. That's a sad thing, I would say. If you
Yeah,
can't write a thought leadership piece without AI, it's like, it's your intuition how you use AI. Of course, it can make people smarter, but it also has the potential to make people dumb as well. If you're using too much of AI, but not actually taking, okay, you're just reading the summary and insights or key takeaways, but you're not actually going through the whole book or the report. Uh, that's where the difference would come from. It's
yeah.
human
Actually,
intuition.
yeah, it's making me more strategic, I think, because I'm purposely looking at what I'm getting and I'm like, okay, I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like, I actually think it makes me more creative and more strategic that if you can collaborate it within with the right way. Couple of minutes to go, and I because I'm conscious when like you get to bed, given how late it is for you, what would be one piece of advice you would give anybody who was transitioning from corporate into startup world?
Uh, Make a clear plan. Just set out your goals. Why is this really what you want? Because it's not going to be easy. And early stages on, particularly when you're trying to build your own thing, I would suggest build with a team or build with a partner. Don't do it alone, like I did or some other founders that are doing. You definitely need a team, definitely need business and tech, both persons, whether it's a tech product or if it's a service based, someone in the industry expert who can figure out the logistics as well. Um, Planning is everything. And also, when I mentioned to this friend as well, like make a timeline and accountability for yourself. There won't be anyone else being your
No.
accountability partner. If you, this one famous thing is a goal without a timeline or accountability is just a dream. So
Yeah, totally.
I set out a goal like I started last March. This March, I want to be at some point. I told this to some people in May as well, like, oh, this is where I will be in March 2026. And they're like, wow, you're thinking that far ahead. And yeah, I'm getting there now because I have this tracking and
Yeah,
timeline in mind. I have this,
important. Yeah, it's
uh,
important.
yeah, very important to have the accountability as well.
Yeah, and but important to have goals, but like important to be having a non-linear approach to them, right? Because nothing happens the way you have it planned. So like if you think it can go from linear from A to B, you got it all wrong. And that's my big
No.
bugbear with goals at the moment because everyone's talking about what are your big goals for the whole entire year? But there's no caveat and there's no like what are your goals and or what intentions are you setting? But allowing yourself the space to pivot, to breathe, to ensure that if that goal doesn't go to plan, you can move it. It's not locked and loaded. Do you know what I mean? And I think that we're still very
Yeah.
much in that space of, right, set it and that's it. And it's like, whoa, hang on a second. It doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to being in startups. So I think it's really important to have that caveat as well. And then tell us
Exactly.
what's the big plan for Fintos? What does Fintos look like in March 2027? Mm.
Oh, we already are pitching to investors as well in this part, like what we're gonna do in 2027 Q1 and Q2 as well. We're gonna have a stable ARR generated, having few family offices as our customers and managing some billions of assets under management, having some transactions going through and getting to the seed stage. That will be our price round in Q2, I would say April of 2027. uh, we have a monthly and quarterly targets to go from here to there to get to that point. What is the
Amazing.
numbers we have to click? What we are promising for our clients? What we are showcasing that we would reach for the investors? So I would say we would be a team of close to 10 people, having bunch of customers in three different continents: US, North America, Middle East, and Europe. This is our target. And to go to the seed round in Q2 of 2027.
Amazing. Sassy, so how do we find out more about Fintos and how do we find out more about you?
On my LinkedIn and fintos.ai, you can subscribe to our newsletter. We send out a monthly newsletter on what's happening, what we are, our event presence, and our new launches. And we do travel across. And like I said, I'm traveling across for Davos and then Qatar and then Dubai in the next weeks. So keep up with our newsletter and my LinkedIn and the company's LinkedIn profile so people can meet us at one of our other events.
Amazing. Thank you, Sassy. I'm going to let you go and get some shut-eye, and hopefully you are going to bed now and not going to be getting back online. You've had a big day by the sounds of things, but loving what you're doing, and yeah, thank you so much for your time. And I guess for me, it's keep being real and keep that that intuition and that strategy and the schedule around your active recovery is super important. It's exactly what the next gen and the new generation of leaders really need to be, kind of sharing with everybody. So thank you. And thank you for coming on the Be Formless Flow Driven CEO podcast.
Thank you very much, Pete. It's a pleasure to talk to you and really interesting questions and conversations. And I hope the viewers could take some things away, good things away, some suggestions on building startups and building in the AI space and how they can leverage AI. And thank you again for having me.
You're welcome. Good night.